So you've just had a painful breakup and you're now single again and you're wondering about the future and you're wanting to let go of your attachments to this ex so that you can move on and find the next great love of your life. But how do you actually move on and let go from a painful past relationship? That's what we're talking about today in this video, including some very specific and actionable steps that you can take to get yourself mentally, physically, and emotionally ready now for that next great relationship, to where there's no emotional baggage whatsoever from your past relationships hanging on to the new relationships. Hi, I'm Jeff Campbell from DivorcedParentsClub.com, and I'm glad you're here with me. So first, just know that you absolutely do need to get to a place where your ex holds no emotional attachments in your heart. Even if you're furious at them, you're angry at them, you hate them, that is an emotional response that they are triggering, and you will never be able to fully dedicate yourself to someone new as long as they have an emotional hold over you. So you've got to get to a place where you literally just don't feel anything for them. Not hate, not love. Maybe you like them, maybe you talk to them occasionally, completely as a friend. Your feelings for them are no different than your platonic friendships that you have, but you've got to get to that place before you'll really be able to commit to someone new. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't casually date, but I would recommend waiting several months if this breakup was recent and if you were with that person for a long time. After my ex dumped me in April of 2021, I waited almost a whole year before I started dating again, and that was honestly the best possible decision I could have made. So do know that you need to get to that place before you can seriously commit to someone else. So first, a lot of us tend to kind of bury our feelings deep down inside, and we think if we just don't think about them, we squash them, we push them down, then maybe we just forget about them over time. But that doesn't usually work for most of us, especially if we're talking about negative emotions. So you've got to find a healthy outlet for those to get them out of your system. You've got to let go of them. You've got to throw those feelings out there to the universe and get them out of your system. You cannot be holding on to this stuff. So a therapist is probably the best way to do that. But also if you have a close friend or confidant that you can talk to and connect with and just, express your feelings honestly and openly to, I would caution you though, your friends don't want to be dumped on every time they see you, and you especially don't want to do that with any romantic partners or prospects. So don't do that. A therapist is really the best way to do that, but just know that you do need to get that stuff out. If you don't want a therapist, if you can't afford a therapist, I would at the very least maybe write in a journal or something like that. You could even do that on your laptop if you'd rather type than write, but get your feelings out there, out of your system, so that you can truly eventually process what you're feeling and then let them go. Now, the other thing you need to do, of course, you really need to go no contact with this person. I would cut them off on social media. I would probably block their phone number. If you don't want to go that drastic a route, if you feel like the relationship doesn't warrant that, at the very least, just unfollow them so that you're not constantly seeing them in your feed on Facebook or maybe Instagram, that kind of thing. But I would probably, especially if it was contentious and it evokes a strong emotional response in you to see or hear from them, I probably would unfriend them really, and maybe even consider blocking them if they frequently reach out to you and it's unwanted attention from them. And then I would probably block their phone number also, so that you really can just move on with your life and kind of forget they ever existed eventually. As I often say in many of my videos, I want you to get back to doing the things that bring you joy. Many times in long-term relationships, we kind of let go of the things that we used to love doing. Those could be hobbies, it could be going to the gym, could be sports, could be hanging out with your buddies, whatever it is, those things brought you joy. And at the outset of the relationship that just ended, those qualities in you were also what attracted you to your now ex-partner. And so if you want to be attractive again to someone else in the future, you've got to get back to doing the things that bring you joy, because when you're happy, you're centered, you're grounded, and you're joy-filled, the universe is going to pick up on that, and other prospective partners are going to pick up on that too. For me, in addition to doing those things, I also like to meditate. And when I first got dumped, I was meditating every day for probably 30 minutes a day. I don't do it that consistently now, and I don't usually do it for that long a period of time now. I do sometimes, especially if I'm filled with anxiety or stress about something, I will definitely do it more. But have some sort of practice that you do that calms and relaxes the mind. It could also be yoga, it could be Tai Chi, it could be anything like that. I like the Insight Timer app. app on my iPhone, and it's a free app. They have a paid version too, but I just use the free version. I can specify I want a 10-minute meditation guided with a female voice and background music, and I want it to focus on anxiety or stress or whatever. And then it'll just show me a list of meditations that match that criteria, and I just sort by the most popular, and I start with the top ones, see if I like it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And then I bookmark the ones that I really like so that I can go back to them quickly and easily. Again, that's a free app called Insight Timer. I love it, and that's what I use exclusively for my meditation. Real quick, if you like this video and you want to see more videos like it, hit that like button for me. It sends a great signal to YouTube, helps the algorithm grow my channel and reach more people, helps me out a lot. So I really appreciate it as a small token of your appreciation for me taking the time to make these videos. The next thing I want you to do is really think about your role in the demise of the relationship. After all, it takes two people to make a relationship and two people to break a relationship, even if one does more damage than the other. So you've got to come to terms with what you brought to the relationship that damaged it and ultimately led to its end, so that you're not repeating those things with the next relationship. We always want to learn from our mistakes. We don't want to ever get to a place where we're never making mistakes, because that's just not realistic. We are human beings. We are flawed. We will always make mistakes. What we want to do, though, is never make the same mistake twice. And the only way we can do that is if we really take extreme ownership of our behavior, understand it, process it, and realize what the things were that caused us to do the things that we did. And then we just need to set about changing that mindset so that we don't do that again in the future. Another thing I want to mention is don't be afraid of negative emotions. Sometimes, especially in, very kind of like spiritual circles, we're told, don't worry, be happy and think positive thoughts and that kind of thing. Negative emotions are a part of life. They just are. And I don't want you to dwell on that. I don't want you to always be in a funk. I don't want you to always be negative. No one likes being around somebody that's like that. But those feelings are going to come into your brain. They are going to be part of who you are on occasion. And I don't want you to be afraid of that. I don't want you to shy away from those feelings. I definitely don't want you to suppress those feelings. You've got to let those feelings out so that they actually go away. So don't be afraid of negative emotions. Just don't dwell on them. Let's say your ex really super wronged you. Maybe they cheated on you. Maybe they stole from you. Maybe they were having an affair behind your back with a family member or your best friend or something along those lines. Let's say they really wronged you in a deep, painful way. That happens. Believe me, it's happened to me, probably happened to you. But let's say that that is the scenario. You need to accept the fact that they may never ever apologize to you for their behavior. They may never accept that what they did was truly heinous. They may try and defer blame onto you or justify their behavior. Well, if you hadn't done X, Y, and Z, I wouldn't have been forced to do that kind of thing. You need to understand and accept that that just may be who they are, and they're never going to come around and truly own their behavior. And you just need to accept that. You cannot control anything other than you, the person in the mirror. So you don't need to expend any energy worrying about things that you can't change. And the only thing that you can change is your own thoughts, your own feelings, and your own actions and your words. We all have been in the place where we get dumped or we have a bad breakup and we have to move on and let go. And we all get in that place where we feel stuck and we're not sure how to proceed. But if you are in a place where you'd really prefer to get your ex back, and we've all been in that place too, I want you to watch this video right up here, because it's going to show you exactly what you need to do to get them back under almost any circumstance. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.